Hello, it's Reija, and it's time for another Top 5 Wednesday. All the links to the host channel and Goodreads group are down in the description for your viewing pleasure, so please be sure to check them out. But without further ado, let's get down to this week's topic, which is books that I am thankful for, in honor of Thanksgiving that I don't actually celebrate. But in any case. First book I want to talk about is Troll a Love Story by Johanna Sinisalo. And the reason I am thankful for this particular book is that it is the first book with a queer character that I have ever read. This was published in 2000 or 2001, around that time, and I was around 13 years old at the time. And when I first read this, I didn't realize the main character was gay. Partly because of the gender-neutral pronouns and gender-neutral language that Finnish is. I did not pick up on the main character's gender. Partly also because I had no context for queerness or homosexuality, because it wasn't something that was ever brought up in my childhood. And I had to read this 2 times to figure it out. And I'm glad I did. This is one of my favorite books, and it helped me a lot when I was a teen and I was struggling with my sexual identity. And I was struggling with coming out and coming to terms with the fact that I had these feelings, and I didn't think they were normal because no one talked about those things. You didn't, back in the day, you didn't see any queer characters in media, you didn't hear anyone talking about it, there was no Twitter, there was no YouTube, there was nothing. So basically, if you were a queer kid, you were practically in a void. So I'm really glad for this book that it introduced me to the idea that there are people like me in the world, and opened me up for other books with queer characters in them. Next book I want to mention is David Eddings' Belgariad series and The Pawn of Prophecy, because this is the first one. And I know that I throw a lot of shade at David Eddings, but that's partly because, I mean, I love the guy with caveats, but you know, David Eddings is one of the reasons why I love fantasy so much. His books were my gateway into fantasy, because back in the day, when I was a teen, I wasn't really mentally or intellectually prepared to go through something like Lord of the Rings. I tried, but I just didn't get into it. So I found David Eddings to be really easy to read. The books were kind of fast-paced, there was magic, there was wizards, there was action, there were knights, and they were just all around really easy. And I owe a lot to David Eddings, no matter how hard a time I give his books, because he was the reason why I got into fantasy as hardcore as I did in the first place. Next I want to mention the Broken Earth trilogy and Obelisk Gate in particular. Now, I love this trilogy, and I love how it explores hard topics such as systemic oppression and colonialism, and the devastating results that happen when you dehumanize an entire sect of people, and basically what happens when you completely demonize people and also steal their culture, but also benefit from those same people at the same time without offering them any kind of rights. So there's kind of like a double standard in play, and I think this trilogy is really educational and important. But for me personally, the biggest takeaway for me as a person was the mother-daughter relationship between Nassun and Essun that gets explored all throughout the trilogy, but it especially starts in the Obelisk Gate. And the reason for that is that my own relationship with my own mother is really complicated. And at times I've questioned whether I'm betraying my family by criticizing them for some of the things that have happened in my upbringing. It's very complicated. But I really related to Nassun's character in this book because there's this conflict in her, in that she loves her parents, but also her parents are both so abusive. And I really resonated with that conflict within her, with that conflict that you love your parents, but at the same time you feel betrayed and angry and sad about how they have treated you. And that is, for me personally, one of the biggest takeaways from this book, and it has helped me come to terms with some of the issues I have with my own relationship with my parents. So that's why I'm thankful for this book series. Next, I want to talk about Persuasion by Jane Austen. And this is going to be short. I'm thankful for this book because Anne Elliot is basically me. She is a character who hates conflict, who tries to compromise with everyone in order to make everyone else happy, and she sacrifices a lot of her own happiness in order to do so. And this book is basically her coming to her own and taking control of her own life and deciding that, okay, I'm going to have this one thing that I want, and you can't tell me otherwise. And I love that, and I resonate with that a lot personally, and that is why I'm thankful for this book. And finally, I want to mention Tämä, jalka, minun, or This Foot Is Not Mine, by various indie authors. This was edited by Artemis Kelosaari and Simo Suntila. And the reason I like this one, even though, as I've mentioned previously in wrap-ups and etc., even though this book is a bit of a hit and miss, there are some amazing stories in this one, but also there are some kind of questionable and downright bad stories. The reason I love this, and the reason I'm very happy that I read this, and I'm very grateful for this book, is that it kind of revived my interest in Finnish weird and made me want to pick up works by Finnish authors, because there are some gems in here and there are very varied kinds of stories that I really liked. And prior to reading this, I was kind of in that mindset that, okay, Finnish literature is all the same all the time. And I'm happy I picked this up because I was completely proven wrong with this one, and I'm really grateful and happy that I read it, and I can't wait to pick up more Finnish weird from now on. And there you have it. Those are all the books that I'm grateful for at this moment in time. And if you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. And let's discuss this topic in the comments. Tell me all the books you're grateful for. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!